Yo, new upload, and today, like I said, it's gonna be a new review, and this time it's gonna be for Cuphead. Cuphead, honestly, was something didn't even think of playing until now, just because of it's a platformer, and I was younger and not very, how would I say, open-minded in different genres, and a platformer was something I felt like was just too old school that wasn't gonna be fun. But now that I'm or open-minded and not young and dumb, I understand that there's more than just a shooter, or there's more than just Minecraft, honestly. And this right here, Cuphead, this is literally what makes me just want to continue playing everything else that's on here and see other genres that I haven't even touched. Because this bullet hell, I guess you could say, into the gungeon type of game is just one that I think anybody should play. Everybody should play. And for sure, even I would say like non-gamers, if you want to say the word, because it's a couch co-op or online co-op. I think, no online co-op, but couch co-op for sure. So it's pretty fun for sure. But we're gonna take a closer look at the actual called case and what it comes with. I just wanted to do something new, and I have my physical copy. I got this used, so I'm not sure if it comes with any inserts or anything like that. But honestly, just as long as I have the actual disc and it works perfectly fine, I think I'm happy with this. I did like more games just having, I guess, a reversible cover, and you can see just like the different characters and everything that's actually a part of the game. Like the different bosses. Nothing like, of course, like for smaller characters, except for Mr. Kettle, and that's this other side character that you don't fight in the actual boss. But everything that actually comes with the game, it just makes me like, I don't know, makes you feel like it's a collector's piece, if anything. But I did like this, so just something new I want to try out as well for the reviews. But let's get back to the actual gameplay. So based on just actual gameplay of the game, we're gonna start off with, I guess, my general preferences of the actual game, because the story isn't too driven in where there's voice acting, or there's I wouldn't even say like a deeper meaning, other than it's like, to me it almost just seems just like like a kid's story, or it's not really a kid's story, but like almost like an old school cartoony Disney type of story, where just your main characters get into trouble and they had to figure it out. But it doesn't really have me pulled in too much into the actual universe of the characters and who they are, and even some of the side characters you see. But that's just my brain still being too small. Other than that, the actual gameplay of the bosses and all the I guess the different worlds and how they progress, that's what actually is the main focus of the game anyways. With aisle 1 starting with more like a gardeny, a spring area where you have the vegetables, the vegetable boss fight. You also have the frog boss fight. And this is where you also get introduced to what's it called, Miss Chalice, where you get to do these parries type minigame side quests, where you have to continuously parry ghosts in order to protect what's it called, the chalice, basically, which is her soul's in there. And I really enjoyed the first world, for just at least for it being an introduction and not being too hard. The one who was really hard, I won't lie, was what's it called, the frog duo. What's it called, boss fight. I can't remember its names. It's too many boss fights, but I can't remember all the names. But the frog duo, that was just one of them that I was just stuck on for the longest, and that was just so tedious for me to understand and continuously repeat into my head, understand each phase and what to do. And just that last part with the what's it called, with the slot machine, that just took it away from me to spend hours on it. But all the other bosses was fairly easy. The one I enjoyed there the most is honestly the whole game's what's it called, I guess platforming / airplane mode. The airplane mode is something where I enjoyed the most of it, should I say, because it just, to me, it just felt kind of like a real bullet hell type of game, where there's you're just flying around and there's so much stuff in your in your what's it called, on your screen, your face, to keep throwing at you, and you have to continuously shrink down into a small plane, or maneuver your way around it. And I just love those were honestly the funnest. But that was what's it called, the first island, it was, I guess, a good introduction. It wasn't anything too hard, but it was a good introduction to make you understand that this game isn't easy, and it's not gonna get easier if this was just the first world and you already spent so much time on it. But the second world, I won't lie, I did enjoy it a little bit better. I won't say it had like the best boss fights in there, but it had some of the I guess the most, what's it called, enjoyable or most recognizable for me. Like for sure, what's it called, where you have the dragon, or you have the or you have what's it called, the red bird, the woodpecker, like that you're flying around, and he just like, you have to constantly like loop around on him again with what's it called, as a plane. And those are the plane ones are just like they're so fun for me. And that's when I honestly like realized this game is just way too hard, honestly. But you know, eventually, like, you know, I got to call the hang of like the actual gameplay, and honestly like having to remember the patterns and everything I has to go to. And also parrying is one of the things where like you don't like I don't think you want to risk yourself to go to it, but honestly it's just something that you want to do in order to like continuously, what's it called, get shorter times to kill these bosses, and even get like, you know, a harder punch you can throw at them. So that's what like really like, you know, and like made you learn. I won't lie, like the second world for me, it just made me learn how to take more risk and understand more patterns, because there's so much stuff on the screen, but you like staying calm and under pressure makes the game just feel like almost relaxed. Like it's kind of the contrary, because you see like so much crap going on the screen, and it makes you kind of mad for losing or dying. But for me, it kind of relaxes me after you understand, at least after you understand like what's going on. But other than that, that's pretty good for sure. Oh, and then also like the different, what's it called, the abilities, because that's when I actually started like buying more, what's it called, guns in the shop, and using, what's it called, like the shotgun spread, and the charged shot as well, which are, those are like honestly like the funnest ones. Like it's kind of cheesing, because like you feel like you're kind of winning like pretty easily, but there's some bosses where you can't even get close to them to even be using that stuff too. And honestly, I didn't really use Miss Chalice's, what's it called, Cookie, when you actually got it, and you can like use her like charm. I feel like her charm wasn't like very useful unless like it was in specific areas. For sure, like in some of the, what's it called, the running guns, I didn't really enjoy those, but we'll talk about that later. The running guns, and then for sure some bosses in the DLC for sure, which we'll also talk about later. IL2, other than that, IL2 is honestly something that you just progress and grow from IL1, and it makes you even like, I guess, engage with the game even more. Story wise, I won't lie, I just like I couldn't keep up with so much of the story, and having to read some of the side characters and like I guess dialogue and stuff like that. But you know, I did caught up to see what they were talking about, and it was mainly just like, you know, like almost like a tips and help, which is like also which is like what I'm referring to in IL3, when you enter there and you immediately have, what's it called, the Queen Bee boss fight, and also the, what's it called, the pirate ship boss fight, which I do like the pirate ship boss fight. It was kind of fairly easy, but it was something fun where you like get to like you know something's coming, almost like in World 2, what's it called, the Queen Lady's like minions are coming out, because you know there's something coming, and you know how to like, oh, so this is coming. I like this part of what's it called, of the run, so hopefully some like more like in the pirate ship where like more dogs come in, so you can just keep shooting down and keep shooting up. But I'm getting distracted. For sure, some of the characters in what's it called in IL3 helped you out, like, oh, you should probably like use different like weapons or different charms or different supers in order to help you. And that's just like some, like, I guess some of the side characters like main focus in there, because I didn't really read too much, like I said. But when I did, like, you know, press triangle to press and speak to the other characters, it was mainly just to help you out and just tips and tricks for sure. That third world, I won't lie, has most, if not of my favorite, what's it called, the boss fights, for just having more more I guess like the flying turret, what's it called, boss fights, and for sure having like some of like the most, what's it called, rage-inducing boss fights, especially when you have these platforms that's continuously going up, like in what was it, in the Queen Bee's boss fight, where just like you have to keep climbing these platforms while everything keeps shooting you, and sometimes you can have like a whole row, or a column, should I say, a column with no platforms, so you can't even stand still for once. Like you have to move, and like it gets hectic, but it's like it's fun once you actually understand it, and having to go back to them in order to, like, you know, get S ranks on them. You know, I personally won't do that, just because like of how much time you have to put in order to not get hit and get like the perfect run and everything. But probably just going back just for fun is good, especially those DLCs. But I'm getting too excited for the DLCs. We'll get to those. Other than that, to call the one boss fight that was just annoying on there was definitely my favorite type of level, but not the funnest one, where you're on you're fighting like the evil scientist guy that has a robot, and you're like flying in a ship. Holy crap, that's like the most annoying one, because like there's so much stuff going on, like actually like so much going on, and even if you think you destroyed one part of his body, something else comes out of it, or like something else is gonna help him from the side of the screen to the left, and it just gets so hectic where like I had to strategically save up my my supers and understand like when things spawn, or like what's the best thing to like to destroy first. And definitely that boss fight just let me like understand different boss fights and having to use more strategies. And honestly, because there's not a lot of it's just like the main focus of like using bombs and like shooting the actual bullets. It's not like I can buy new I can buy new weapons in general, unless I can use a charm, which makes me like when I shrink, I have like inva frames where I can just like be invincible for a second, which they're good, but other than that I can't really use too much. That whole world is pretty good, because like the different phases for each bosses just makes each level harder and harder and harder. You thinking that just the first phase is just easy enough, and then the second phase being a little challenging, and then the third phase just feeling like it's impossible, because you can't make it there without getting hit almost. But I would say like the easiest boss on there is the theater. It's like you're in a theater and you're fighting like this white lady with like long nosed white lady, and honestly that was like pretty easy. I beat that like the second try, because like there's not a lot of stuff going on, but she just moves around a lot, except for like the last two phases where you can just like keep spamming the shotgun pellets, and it's over like less than 2 minutes. But that's when eventually like things pick up and you actually get to the last part with the devil and in the casino, and that's when it actually gets actual good. The casino honestly just is one of the parts where like you want to keep going back to them, where like I fought some of like the bosses, because it goes at more. If you don't know, you start off with the actual dice, I can't remember his name, but the dice guy, his head is a dice, and you spin a dice and you have to like go around this almost like this little like play mat, where you have to like get different bosses in order to get to the final boss, which is him, which I didn't even know. That's what made it like so much better, because like this whole time I'm getting lives while you're spinning the dice in order to land on just a boss with no lives, or on a boss with a chance to with the ability to get more lives. And there's a trick in order to spin it for the dice to get each one. But eventually, like I just kept when I kept dying, I just ran up to the dice, spin it, and I didn't really care what bosses I got, because I have already went through every single one of them, and all of them are just so much fun, because like it's not annoying where you have different phases for each one, but it's just a simple moveset that each one has that you can memorize in less than like a minute or two, where you're like, okay, I know this is coming, I know which bosses I prefer and which bosses I don't. So let me get the bosses that I want. So let me spin the dice right, Other than that, there's only one boss I did hate in there, and I literally remember, I know it. I know I hate it, because that's the only boss like that's just like sits like on its own what's it called, in its own section, like hate for this boss. And it's a domino one. I think I can remember the what's it called, the play too. It's level 4. You spin the dice to level 4. It's just the most annoying thing, because it's like basically two bosses in one. There's one that keeps shooting like little balls, and there's one that shoots and a flying domino bird, and then like the platform is moving with spikes, and you have to like such a small space, and it's so annoying. That's where I lost so many lives. But all the other bosses were just so fun, and like the characters of what they were supposed to represent, like a cigar for like the cigarettes and the thing, or like the liquor like in the first world, or like the play chips in like the second world, to even like maybe even things not even in a casino, like the pool tables. I've never been to a casino, but like the pool table to call the 8-ball, or even like the claw machine monkey. That one was okay. It just it just took too long, because you have to like eventually like get everything. But what made it challenging and made it so much fun at the same time was once you actually fought the dice guy, he spawns in cards like that are walking, and you have to like parry and over to like you have to parry over all the cards. But the thing is, sometimes you might get like a three blacks and one pink of a card, so you have to like kind of jump dash in order to parry. And if you're already low, not expecting it to come, like the first one, you're gonna get hit. And like I said, if you don't have enough lives in order to get it, you're going to lose. And it's so hard, but it's so much fun at the same time, because it just makes you like, it just practices your parry and your actual platforming. Eventually I did get it, and it was so much fun that I did it again before I even went to go fight the devil. But that's one of my favorite boss fights for sure, just the actual dice guy, where you have like multiple bosses in order to fight him for the last one. And to get to the last one in the main story for the devil, that one, I won't lie, it was challenging at first for just being like long in the first phase of having to just keep spamming bullets onto him, shotgun shells, or like the shock charge, or like the charged shot, should I say, or just like the original, what's it called, the blue pellet shooter. And it just took forever for that first phase. And once you actually got to the second phase and the third, that's, I would say, yeah, the second and third phase are just the hardest ones, because like there's so much. The third one more than, if anything, the hardest, but the second one is more like you have platforms, we have bombs coming in, axes being thrown, chips falling down from the ceiling on fire, and you have to continuously not just move on like on a flat platform, but you know, individual, let's call little islands to have to go jump on. And with, you know, bombs taking more than likely 3 of the platforms with chips still falling down, it makes it so much more intense, and but at the same time so much more fun. So to calculate, oh, I need to move here before anything happens, or let me go into the middle and like, you know, keep shooting him, and wait, I gotta come back because the axe is coming out of his eye. And if you play the boss fight, once you see it in the actual video, it's probably playing right now, it just looks kind of hectic. And it's not only that, but until after that phase, third phase, where just more stuff keeps spawning in, where you have, I don't even remember them, but like it's like these little blue what's it called, like demons coming in, they're spinning, and they're like, you know, taking spots from, what's it called, following you and tracking you, while you have 2 other big demons on the side shooting at you, while you also have the devil, what's it called, raining down chips and shooting more stuff at you. Luckily that phase goes pretty quickly, and the last phase of the devil, I won't lie, it was kind of underwhelming. That's why like the devil boss fight wasn't my favorite, because like the last phase was underwhelming. You just had to continuously jump around a chip that's falling on one platform. It seems, or it looks like it's unfair, but it's really not. And honestly, because like it's the last phase and it's just a small smidget of health, it goes like that. And while like by the end that I didn't even know I beat it, I was like, oh, okay. And I wasn't, you know, feeling so proud. If anything, I felt more proud just successfully understanding like the first 3 phases, and then the last phase I was like, oh, okay, you know, I was underwhelmed for sure. But underwhelmed for sure on these what's it called, on these last bosses. It made me feel like, damn, like that was it, the game ended just like that. But luckily, you know, the game that I picked up, what's it called, or the game that now comes with a DLC where you play as I mean, you don't play, but you help out Chalice to get her soul back. And that boss and those bosses and that DLC just elevate, you know, creativity for like the whole game as a whole. Just like sweep the whole main story, if anything, honestly. Having like different, what's it called, phases for each bosses that make you even like have to literally change your playstyle, or even like having different bosses in general come in order to help out the ones you've already taken out, makes the game so much better. I won't talk too much of the DLC because I kind of like finished it in one day, so like I'm still trying to replay it back and feel how I feel about it, because now that I've played, you know, the full story and played a little bit more and then went to the DLC, I felt kind of like almost overpowered, because like I already knew how to, like, you know, beat some of this game. There are some ones that I won't lie are super difficult, like the Ice Wizard, for sure. That one was the hardest. I spent like literally a whole day on that one, which just sounds stupid. Not like 24 hours, but like, you know, when I came back from work and played it, it just took me all day. I just gave up on it and just continued doing homework or something. But having the rest of the day, having the rest of my night for the next day, I just literally just sat down in one playthrough and beat the whole what's it called DLC, making me just want to continuously play. And right now I'm still playing it. More likely gonna be playing it today as well, cause man, that DLC is so good. I just want to play it like in a more like in a harder difficulty, and it's very fun because like that's when I honestly started buying new weapons and new what's it called charms as well, because like I wasn't really buying too much because I was already like comfortable with using some like my main three in the story, but using the different what's it called weapons kind of felt kind of cheap, using especially the crack shot. That's the only one I remember, because like it literally you can shoot and it just follows, it like tracks onto the actual target. It's good, but you know, it made it kind of easy. But other than that, those boss fights are super good with the what's it called, with the addition of a secret one where you have to like do a puzzle of these ghosts, and that was pretty good. I won't lie, it was kind of hectic, but I did get it like on a third try, and I was like, oh, that was kind of underwhelming because I thought there was gonna be more phases and more phases, but it was just one secret phase, you know. So I wasn't too you know, bummed out because it was a secret level and it was like I wasn't even expecting it. But for sure that last what's it called boss fight with the actual what's it called chef, that one was good, because there's like that one makes me want to play more you know, passive and more safe, because there's so much stuff going on. I have to continuously, oh, look around, I need to jump here, jump there. And that boss fight honestly was better than the devil boss fight, I won't even lie. So I would say, if anything, if you have played the game, I would recommend the DLC just to play it, because more than likely if you have the what's it called, the most recent version, it comes with it anyways, and it's just that much fun. With that in mind though, that was all the good stuff I talk about, but the bad stuff, I won't lie, are definitely just not too much, but it's enough to what's it called put it like you know, handful of stuff in my hand for sure. And it's not gonna, you know, beat down the score, but it's definitely gonna not, you know, get it a perfect one as well. The score isn't gonna get a 10 out of 10 for sure, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. But for sure, the things I do want to talk about is definitely the running guns, the story, and definitely just maybe online multiplayer that should have been added, because you can do share play. But the running guns was something I really didn't enjoy, just for like the part of the feeling that it just made more like a filler. If it was more something like I don't even know what you could have added. Maybe even more bosses, or I guess made it a little bit more funner in my sense, because like I felt like I struggled a little bit too much on like pointless little running guns that didn't really like matter to me, because like the bosses were like the main thing, the main what's it called, the part of the game that made you actually like, you know, want to keep playing and stuff like that. And the story was just, how I said at the beginning, was just like something I wasn't paying attention to much, and almost just childish. Where like, I'm not childish, because like the story is just like, you know, it was, I feel like it's just there, you know, it just gives the game its purpose of why you're doing this and why you have it to kill these, I mean like take these people's souls in contracts for sure in order to fight the devil. And then lastly, just the online multiplayer. I wish it was online. I'm not sure because I haven't played too much. But I wish you could actually, like, you know, send an invite to a friend, maybe play co-op instead of having to be couch co-op, or share play the game through PlayStation, where like, oh, I'm gonna give you the controller and you can play with us, you know. But I did like that about the game, what's called couch co-op, where like, you know, I have my new setup so I can actually, like, you know, literally a couch in my room so I can play. And it was sometimes where like I was playing with my brother, or just playing online, the share screen on all of my friends. And I would say it's way harder with another person, because, you know, the enemies get like a boost in health and stuff like that. But it doesn't, like, it just makes the game so much more fun, because like you're playing with someone else and you have to, like, you know, work together in order to like do damage, because you do no damage with just one person. But that's definitely something that I guess would raise the score even higher, because at first I was gonna give it an 8 out of 10, but now that you can, you know, play couch co-op, and I've had that experience to play with, you know, my brother and my friend, I would give this game a solid 9 out of 10 for just being that good. And with the DLC on it, it could be a 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for just being, you know, not biased for the game, because I really do like this game, but having to critique it where like I understand what I don't like and what I do like about the game. And this game is something I highly rate it, but it's not perfect, and it's not 10 out of 10 exactly what I think. But for sure it's something where I'm gonna go back to it. I could probably go play with my brother again, maybe in the future play with, you know, someone else again. So that's what I'm gonna give it for the last rating. It'll be a 9 out of 10. And, you know, next upload's gonna be again, and 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, just like today or something. And the next game I'm going to play, I haven't decided too much, but it's probably going to be between Control, Journey, or just like a story-based game for sure. Because I'm just, I feel like I've already played a platformer. I already played Resident Evil. I think I want to play something more, more like world orientated, where I'm like grasping to like the story. I want to read deeper into it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That was it for this AGR, and I'll see you next time. Peace.